Let me do it.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, project you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
Okay, everybody calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. Yes, Wrestling with Savage is back. We're here. We're back. We're happy to be back. I know I've taken a long time to get this show going again, but we're going to do what we do best, and we're going to talk about some professional wrestling. And we're going to get right into it. We're going to give you your weekly wrap-up every Wednesday night. Obviously, I've been busy, and we'll get into what I've been doing a little later. But first and foremost, let's get right into professional wrestling for the week. SmackDown kicked us off, or at least kicked my week off. And who other than The Rock made a return? The Rock made a huge return. And he had a program with Austin Theory. I mean, what else can they do for Austin Theory to get him over? I mean, this is like momentous. It's huge. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened to Austin Theory's life right here. For The Rock to come back, obviously had a little help from Pat McAfee, did the people's elbow. The crowd was like beyond over. This was, for me, the moment of the week. Without a doubt, The Rock coming back to SmackDown Live has to be the moment of the week. The only thing that was missing was the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. But this is what WWE does better than anybody. This is what WWE does better than anybody. The slow build to the storyline, the slow build to the match. They're doing this right. Keeping The Rock, keeping Roman separated, but keeping everybody guessing, keeping everybody hoping, praying that we are going to get that match at WrestleMania 40 between The Rock and Roman Reigns. Obviously, Austin Theory was dropping Stone Cold's name, so there's another teaser for a WrestleMania match between Austin Theory and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I would love to see that. I'm sure the WWE Universe would love to see that. AJ Styles, my God, taking on Finn Balor, but Finn Balor would defeat him. Nothing we could do about that. AJ Styles taking the L, Finn Balor defeating AJ Styles. Jimmy Uso with the distraction. I mean, do I like what they're doing here with AJ Styles and Finn Balor? We're going to get some great matches from it, but I want to see Finn Balor get back on the track to having some kind of a championship contention. I know he's tag team champion now, but Finn Balor needs to be in like the main picture storyline to make it more interesting for Damian Priest and have that briefcase really mean something and have everybody wondering, is he going to turn on Finn? I don't know where they're going to go with that whole storyline here. AJ Styles, I feel like right now he's just going to be used to really help elevate a lot of the other talent. I'm wondering what they're going to do with AJ Styles with the Bullet Club. We have to stay tuned, but as of right now, AJ Styles on the losing streak over on SmackDown. Rey Mysterio agreed to grant the LWO Santo Escobar a United States title opportunity. The LWO got interrupted by Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. We have the Hurt Business now back on SmackDown, and this is a great thing to see. Hurt Business, we all been wanting it for a long time. We've all missed it, and now we have it. And there's so many possibilities between Bianca Belair, maybe Jade Cargill getting involved. We'll get into that later. But there's a lot of possibilities for the Hurt Business right now to take over the WWE as a whole, to become the new powerful faction, to take on the Judgment Day, to take on the Bloodline. We could see the Hurt Business rise to the top of the WWE stratosphere within the next 365 days. But we're going to have to wait till WrestleMania to see where they're going with LWO, where they're going with Hurt Business, and of course, Judgment Day and that Money in the Bank briefcase. The Street Profits did defeat Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde in what was a very physical match. And here we see the Street Profits now becoming more serious, more about business, more about sneak attacks, more about physical abuse, really taking a lesson from their mentor, Bobby Lashley, who's going to teach them how to definitely hurt some people in this business. Big shout out to Steven Chambers. We appreciate you stopping by. I'm not going to try to read too many of the chats until like towards the end of the show, because I want to be able to give the average person that comes into this room the ability to say, hey, I know everything that just happened in the whole week of pro wrestling. LA Knight defeated The Miz. Now, see, I wasn't happy about this only because this should be a pay-per-view match. They should have just been more segments. These guys are so good and so creative in the ring, on the mic. I would have loved to see I mean, there's still time, but I want to see high quality Hollywood directed vignettes between these two guys, whether it be a promo battle, an interaction somewhere in public, maybe a red carpet premiere. These guys are both megastars. LA Knight is headed to the top of the list right now, especially having that new action figure. And dude, we want to make sure that we take care of LA Knight. Yeah, we want to take care of him because he is a rising star. So it's very important that we take our time with LA Knight. Don't rush anything. Let it be organic. Let the rise be organic. He has all the tools right now. It seems WWE is probably going to be focused on Cody Rhodes, but they have LA Knight in their sights, and that is good news for anybody that's an LA Knight fan. He is a magnificent athlete, incredible on the mic, just as good as The Miz, if not better. It's hard for me to say he's better than The Miz, though, because The Miz has just done so much on the mic over the years. Always impressive. But LA Knight, just as impressive, going on a hell of a run, getting the crowd behind him, getting the people behind him, and all this merch that he has, the new toys, the shirts. It's going to be a real test to see what kind of star power he has, because at the end of the day, this business is about making money. And let's just see how much money LA Knight can make for the WWE or TKO or whatever the hell they're calling themselves this week. Asuka went on to defeat Bayley. Now, this was a high-quality match, hard-hitting match. This was something that SmackDown needs more of. I love it. I love watching Bayley in action. I love watching Asuka in action. And it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to get that title shot first and, you know, who's going to take the title away from the current SmackDown Women's Champion. Austin Theory getting the super rub because at the end of the night, he had an interaction with John Cena. My God. John Cena. First, it's The Rock, and then end of the night, it's John Cena. Solo Sikoa would come out. He would confront John Cena. He emerged to help Jimmy Uso launch a 2-on-1 attack on John Cena. AJ Styles charged to the ring to help Cena. And this is good for AJ Styles because he needed the rub after taking that L earlier in the night. Obviously, when he did take that loss, it was because of a distraction from Damian Priest, because that's what the Judgment Day are there for. I mean, that's why you're in a faction. You're in a faction so people can have your back. A lot of people don't understand that. You call it cheating. I call it winning. Judgment Day, good job to you tonight. You killed it on SmackDown. I say tonight, but didn't happen tonight. But you all know what I mean. On SmackDown, they killed it. Definitely worth a watch. All the work that WWE has been doing lately has been paying off because we're seeing it in the progress of the characters and a lot of the development of the young talent, like a Solo Sikoa, like an Austin Theory, like a Grayson Waller. They're all out here. They're all looking like stars. I mean, not to mention everybody else, but, you know, we're talking about SmackDown right now. And speaking of SmackDown, why don't we take a little short moment to hear from none other than Total Watam about what he thought about the week in wrestling.
Esmeralda, before we go on with Savage, I want to make sure that everything looks good. We need to do a sound check. I think I need a breath mint. What? Savage, come on. Why do you always do this? Hey, guys. Total with Tom here. It's our new weekly segment. We're going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to just emphasize on a few things that happened this week in pro wrestling. My storyline of the week has to be Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. I mean, these guys are getting ready for a big one-on-one match next Wednesday at Arthur Ashe Stadium. I think the build-up for this has been tremendous. Jericho is, of course, brilliant on the mic, and on Wednesday night on Dynamite, him and Sammy stood in the ring, reminisced first with a video package, and then just opened up their hearts to each other. And I can't emphasize enough how when you pull back the curtain, that makes these angles or storylines, the ones that work. So the storyline of the week, Sammy and Jericho. The boo of the week, and I hate to do this because I'm against people who say boo for PWI for not putting in their favorite wrestler. Well, there's a criteria for this, and I understand that. I love the issue, first of all, PWI. I just have to say there's a couple people who are not on the list that I think should have been in it. I mean, at least at number 500. I mean, first off, Leo Sparrow. Here's a guy who wrestled MJF this year. How many of those top 500 people wrestled MJF and had the match that he had with him? Crowbar. Crowbar's 50 years old and has been elevating talent all around the independent scene. Some of the best matches he's had in his entire career. He is called the Timeless One for a reason. He is getting better with age. And then finally, Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer's been hitting the independent circuits for a long time. And he's still out there doing it. And I know he didn't win a title during the criteria period that they had it. But I just can't see how you can't not have Tommy Dreamer on your top 500 list. That's a boo of the week. Pop of the week. That's easy. I mean, The Rock. He comes out SmackDown on Friday night. And I haven't heard a pop like that ever. Maybe in the Hogan days. But what made The Rock's pop more unbelievable than any pop I've ever heard was it got louder as he came out from the back. So you had the pop, and then you had The Rock come out, and while the first pop was still going, another pop happened on top of it. Pop of the week goes to The Rock. This is Toto with Tom. Esmeralda, tell Savage, if he does that again, I'm quitting.
Great work by Toto Tom, and he's right. Rock did get the pop of the week, and it was huge. It was loud. It was just as loud as some of the old school pops that Stone Cold, Triple H, Hulk Hogan would get. And you could hear it if you were watching it, especially if you were there live. I'd love to hear from somebody that was there live and actually got that response. But moving on, let's start talking about Monday Night Raw flagship show. Dirty Dom Mysterio verbally sparred with Cody Rhodes. And then, of course, this would just lead to Cody Rhodes defeating Dirty Dom. But what else would you expect from Cody Rhodes, the WWE Golden Boy? This guy is a printing machine for money. He is walking around and literally printing out more money than anyone watching this stream will ever make in their entire life. And that's just today. Imagine what he'll do by the end of his run. Cody Rhodes is undoubtedly the future of the WWE. Whether it's next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it does not matter. He is not going anywhere. He will be Ric Flairing this business. Do not doubt that. Just don't do it. It would be a mistake. Kevin Owens then came out and questioned Cody Rhodes for bringing Jey Uso to Raw. They're trying to go somewhere with this. Obviously, I see the seeds being planted. I see a feud between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And let's be honest, that is good for business. That is going to be good TV. That is going to be good matches. That's going to be good storyline, good segments, good talking, and just character progression. And if it's done right, both men will come out looking better than ever because they're two of the best in the business today. Kofi Kingston defeated Ivar. We had a disqualification from Ricochet because he decided to hit Shinsuke Nakamura with a steel chair. And then Shinsuke, that wasn't enough for him. He had to come out. He had to injure Seth freaking Rollins, injure his back, targeting his back. He knows that the architect, the revolutionary, has back problems. And Shinsuke, very smart of you to target that back. And Shinsuke Nakamura doing everything in his power to show everyone in the WWE universe that he is a main event player, that he is a primetime player, that he is a future world champion. There's no doubt in my mind by the end of this year, I don't know when, I'm not going to pinpoint it, but I'm calling Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be the first one to take that title off Seth Rollins. They're building him differently here. They need it. Seth needs an equal, and I feel like Shinsuke Nakamura is the perfect choice for that. Underutilized for years, and now they're killing it with him. I hope they stay on track with this, and they go all the way with it. Pull the trigger. Get that guy a title ASAP. Nia Jax made her ferocious return by causing impact, decimating Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler. Now, I did have a little bit of a problem with this because Shayna Baszler is such a badass. It's just, it's unbelievable that she took a beating like this from Nia Jax. I want to see Shayna Baszler get some revenge on Nia Jax. If I was Shayna Baszler, I would be very upset right now because I know who I am if I'm Shayna Baszler. I'm the baddest woman on the planet now. I just took out Ronda Rousey. I'm not going to have Nia Jax come over here and embarrass me on Monday Night Raw, but kudos to Nia Jax for coming back and looking better than ever, decimating talent everywhere she goes. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the women's division on Monday Night Raw as the year progresses. See, I'm a little nervous, I guess. This is my first relaunch of the show in a while. I'm a little rusty. I'm so used to being a co-host now because if you've been living under a rock, then you would know that I host the Party with Marty podcast, and partying with Marty has its benefits, also has its cons, and yeah. So let's keep it going. Monday Night Raw was good overall show. I enjoyed it. Big Bronson Reed defeated Chad Gable. I'm okay with that because they were kind of like not really doing Bronson Reed any favors over the last few months. They were building him up. He was getting nice vignettes, but now all of a sudden putting him back in a category that, hey, I put down Gable. I'm putting down a guy that almost put down Gunther. They're setting seeds for superstars, and that's what Bronson Reed is. That's what Gable is. No problems with it. Becky Lynch defeated Natalya to retain the NXT Women's title. Now, I'm a big fan of the NXT Women's title being defended on Monday Night Raw. It's a great way to show the brand power on a different show. It's a great way to draw in new fans. It's a great way to take the fans that Becky has, bring them over to Tuesday nights. And NXT is crushing it right now. I talked to David LaGreca over the weekend, and I asked him, hey, man, for the year to date, what is the best show? And he told me NXT. And you can watch that full interview on my YouTube page underneath the interview tabs. And by the way, you should like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Let's keep it moving on Monday Night Raw. Tommaso Ciampa defeated Giovanni Vinci, and this was an excellent matchup. Two of the very best in the ring. Speed, athleticism, technical prowess. I mean, these guys have it all. They're studs. These are two studs going at it on Monday Night Raw. This is a main event anywhere in the world, and you should be happy to be watching it on cable TV. That's all I'm going to say about that. Drew McIntyre went on to defeat Jey Uso in the main event of Monday Night Raw. And there's a lot of storytelling here because it looks like Drew's going to have a turn soon. He doesn't look like he wants to be that good guy anymore. Drew is turning to the dark side, and I'm okay with this. We get a dark side Drew back. We get a Drew that was like the way he was on the Independents when he was out there kicking everyone's butt, taking names, and doing whatever it took to go anywhere and prove that he was the best by being a badass. So if we get a badass version of Drew McIntyre, doesn't need that sword, doesn't need that gimmick, he just comes out and he is the Scottish psychopath. If we get the Scottish psychopath back, that can't be nothing but good news for Monday Night Raw as far as fans are concerned, and very bad news for the locker room of Monday Night Raw. I feel bad for all the superstars back there that are going to have to deal with the repercussions from a Scottish psychopath. So let's please say a prayer for everyone in the WWE Monday Night Raw locker room, because it's about to get hectic in my mind over the course of the next season, which we're under right now. Cody Rhodes assisted Jey Uso in fending off the Judgment Day as Drew McIntyre, like I said, refused to help. He's turning to that dark side. Imagine Drew goes to the Judgment Day. Wow, that would be a shock. I don't think I would expect that to happen, but if it did, shock factor would have to be up there at all-time moments, because I don't think anybody would see that coming. But if it happens, I said it, and you better remember it. Real quick, before we get into NXT, which, by the way, according to David LaGreca, is the best show on TV right now every week, why don't we take a listen to Lewis from the Wrestling Universe about all the upcoming events here in Queens, New York.
What is up, guys? Lewis, SDW from the Wrestling Universe here. And, guys, I want to tell you about some of the upcoming appearances I have. Eric Rowan, September 23rd, October 1st, I got a huge day here. Jacqueline, Marty Jannetty, Doink the Clown, TL Hopper, Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and the legendary Marty Jannetty will be here at the Wrestling Universe. But that's not all. October 8th, PCO, former Ring of Honor World Champion, former WWE Tag Team Champion, we're signing autographs right here. October 14th, the Big Red Monster Kane will be appearing at the Wrestling Universe. And last but not least, for the month of October so far, October 21st, Eric Bischoff will be here at the Wrestling Universe. So guys, come on down, come hang out, come get some autographs, come get some pictures here, the Wrestling Universe.
Some absolute huge signings happening at the Wrestling Universe, September, October. Make sure you head on over to the wrestlinguniverse.com to buy tickets for all your events that are coming up. Meet all your stars, your legends. I know I'm going to want to be there for Kane, Eric Rowan this Saturday, Bischoff in October. Get down to the Wrestling Universe right now. Do it before you regret it. NXT coming to you live from the Performance Center. Another great show, but before that, let's talk about NXT No Mercy, which is coming up in Bakersfield, California, Saturday, September 30th. And we have a bunch of huge matches. Becky Lynch challenges Tiffany Stratton to an Extreme Rules match at No Mercy. I love the name No Mercy, by the way. It's one of the better names that you're going to hear for a pay-per-view. They should have brought it back a little sooner. I'm not mad at it. I'm happy that it's on NXT. It's being used with superstars. So we have Tiffany Stratton taking on Becky Lynch in an Extreme Rules match. You have Dirty Dom taking on Mustafa Ali. You have Braun Breaker taking on Corbin. That is going to be huge. That's a main event anywhere in the world today. Predictions. I think Becky Lynch is going to retain over Tiffany. I think Dirty Dom will defeat Mustafa Ali, and Braun Breaker will defeat Corbin. We have, of course, the main event, which is that guy who never misses, Carmelo Hayes, taking on Dragunov for the NXT World Championship. And I'm going to have to call Dragunov on this one. I think it's his time. Carmelo Hayes has showed that he can hang on Monday Night Raw. Let's get that man on the main roster. And while we're at it, let's get back the lightweight championship on Monday Night Raw and give it to that man, Carmelo Hayes, because he'd represented very well. Dragunov is a beast. It's time. Give him his flowers. Give him his title. Give him his merch. Give him his push. It's time. Dragunov, NXT World Champion, happening live at NXT No Mercy. And on NXT, of course, Butch defeated Tyler Bate in the NXT Global Heritage Invitational. Great match, by the way. Duke Hudson defeated Joe Coffey in another NXT Global Heritage Invitational match. Duke Hudson is phenomenal, by the way. So is Joe Coffey. Great wrestler. But Duke Hudson is showing me so much lately. So much as far as personality goes, as far as in-ring work, backstage work, just wrestling ability. This guy has it. I cannot wait to see Duke Hudson on the main roster. Roxanne Perez went on to defeat Lola Vice. Wasn't the best match of the night. Could have been a little longer, but Roxanne Perez got the job done. Carmelo Hayes versus Dirty Dom. And look at Dom pulling on double duty. He's wrestling on Raw. He's wrestling on NXT. Hell, sometimes he wrestles on SmackDown, house shows. Dirty Dom putting in the work right now, probably more than anybody else that you can think of right now as far as WWE is concerned. Dirty Dom is everywhere. Carmelo Hayes versus Dirty Dom Mysterio ended in a no contest. Great way to tell the story. Great way to keep Dom looking sharp, looking strong, looking like a stud by being able to end a no contest with the NXT World Champion Carmelo Hayes. Absolutely stunning NXT, to be honest with you. One of the better ones in recent memory. And Joe Coffey defeated Nathan Frazier and Duke Hudson. Wow. Triple threat match, man. I mean, Joe Coffey came out on top. Absolutely crazy performance. NXT, if you're not watching it, it is the best show on TV right now. I mean, I can't say it was the show of the week this week, but there's been so many weeks this year that I've put NXT over AEW, over Monday Night Raw, over SmackDown. So if you're not watching NXT, get your butts on over to the USA Network on Tuesday nights. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyrie It was supposed to be Becky Lynch in a handicap match against Tiffany Stratton and Kiana James. Valkyria comes out. She helps. It ends up being a 2-on-2, and Becky Lynch and Valkyria end up defeating Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton to end the night in the main event. This, like I said, wasn't the best NXT of the year or anything like that, but there were some really good matches. But most nights, NXT is killing it, man. To remind everybody, Tampa, Florida, the Royal Rumble has been announced for January 27th, so get your tickets sooner than later. They will sell out. We got some breaking news right now. Randy Orton is he's working out at the WWE Performance Center. It's been confirmed. He's been spotted multiple times. Randy Orton is at the Performance Center. So what does this mean? It could mean a lot of things. Could mean he's down there coaching some kids. Could mean he's down there just working out. Could mean he's getting ready for that comeback that we're all waiting for. The Viper coming back to the WWE could happen very soon. Maybe sooner than later. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is Randy Orton coming back ASAP? Is he coming back at Mania? Is he coming back in the Rumble? I'm going to say he's coming back at the Rumble. I feel like these two pictures are next to each other for a reason. And, we'll pause this right now because we got to talk about some stuff. We had Legends Fan Fest over the weekend, and we were there live. We were in Philadelphia, Marty Jannetty, Jimmy Hart. And why don't I just go ahead and play this little video package for you that I put together for my weekend in Philadelphia. All right?
What happens? The greatest tag team in the world, right? Absolutely.
Marty, give me some quote of wisdom.
Don't let the first time be your worst time to get your ass beat.
Expand it, yeah. Put it right there. The pinball's finally gonna get fixed.
Go ahead.
Well, we're right there. Taking care of business, having good times. Tell them, Savage. What we gonna do, bro?
Oh, we're rocking on South Street here at.
We're gonna forget my name.
I didn't forget your name. I'm just
check out Party with Marty podcast.
Check out the Party with Marty podcast and check out Suplex Sneakers here on South Street.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I shot my wife.
Marty, that was quick.
Yeah, I don't take long. Get it, go.
Here with the Party with Marty podcast, it's Marty Jannetty, it's Savage, we're here.
It's a lot to unpack. But, when you talk about the teaming together with Shawn Michaels, the Rockers, the Midnight Rockers, you probably can make a very good case that they should be in the Hall of Fame as a team.
How about this case? He was the first person to win a title on Monday Night Raw television.
Oh, okay. And how about this? If you go back to the AWA days, Marty was the star of that team, right? So
he's basically going to make you get in the show now.
That's great. All right. That's awesome.
The show has been going great. I think we're just going to keep getting better and better. And I challenge guys like Jim Cornette to come at us, come on the show. We'd love to talk professional wrestling with him. We'd love to talk professional wrestling with David LaGreca.
What's up? It's Dallas Riggs here with Party with Marty. Watch the Party with Marty podcast. I mean, look at this guy. Aged better than the Heartbreak Kid, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
You're gonna party with Marty.
And the reason why I love Marty Jannetty is because he is one of the greatest tag teams of all time with Shawn Michaels, and he's just a stand-up guy. And there's not everybody else I gotta say. If you know Marty, you know he's the man.
In fact, he is the man. We're here at Legends Fan Fest Live, and where are we? What town is this, Jimmy Hart? Tell me, where are we, Jimmy?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And that's the way I was thinking, and that's how I came up with all my moves. I had Terminator, it was I threw a chair up and kicked it into the guy's face, and then That Fonzie would hold it over the guy's face and I'd jump off the top rope and take him.
Why am I muted? I muted myself. Oh no. Well, I wanted to thank everybody. I wanted to thank Rob Van Dam. I wanted to thank Marty Jannetty, Johnny Rods for doing such a great job at the panel. It was awesome to just be sitting there with them, and I'll never forget it. It was a memory for me for life. I hope I wasn't muted the whole show. That'd be bad. That'd be real bad. But Waffle Mania was great. Big success. Kevin Kelly was there interviewing everybody. Tony Atlas, Marty Jannetty, Johnny Rods telling some great stories. Ricardo Rodriguez stopping by to say hi to Jimmy. Of course, I got to hang out with the Nation of Domination. And, you know, that's a photo I'll never forget. So, I mean, when are you going to get that kind of opportunity again? Tantalizing. Tony was there. He was hounding me. He interrupted the show. He interrupted interviews. But we took care of Tony. You know, Marty and him had a match a long time ago. So we gave some time to Tony to be able to talk to Marty Jannetty, talk to Savage, and get the goods. Everybody go follow Tantalizing Tony. He has a great channel. He's a bum, but he has a great channel. I'll give him that. Big shout out to Cri Text, who's my cousin. He was there. He was a cameraman. He was a driver. He was concierge helping out Savage Kingdom Promotions. So without him, this weekend would have been a lot rougher. And big shout out to Gilch, Jimmy Hart, Marty Jannetty, the entire Savage Kingdom promotion team for Legends Fan Fest. Thank you all for being there and helping out. Also got to run in with Easy E, and he gave me some advice on how to take over Monday Night Raw when the time is right. Marty Jannetty, we got some breaking news over the weekend too. His big rubber guy was finally put into production. They're going to be taking more orders. I can't wait. It's coming out in January. I think you can order a second pre-order coming out soon. Everybody should jump on that. That's going to be super limited edition. And then my boy just running around taking nice pictures, Mark Henry, David LaGreca. And Dave was there, and Dave was kind enough to do an interview with me. You can watch the full version on YouTube. But here's another clip of my interview with David LaGreca, and he has a lot to say, like a lot.
Coming up soon, anything that you want to put over?
Well, we're here in Pennsylvania, our WrestleMania party, WrestleMania 40. We got some things planned for that, so make sure you tune into Busted Open because we got some really big news when it regards to our WrestleMania party, so make sure you check that out.
I'll definitely try to be there. I got my tickets to WrestleMania, and I guess we'll close it with this. Do you still see Roman Reigns as the champion after WrestleMania 40? I know you hear about this all day, every day.
No, it's not that. It's not about that. It's about that I thought it was going to be Cody, and that Cody was going to finish the story, and that Cody would be your champion after WrestleMania 40. But after what I saw on SmackDown, with The Rock coming back, is it going to be Rock and Roman at WrestleMania 40? So if it's Cody and Roman, then Roman's not leaving Pennsylvania with the title. If it's Rock and Roman, it's a different story. So,
as you can see, a lot to talk about.
I'm not happy about it. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not happy about it. I want to see Cody finish the story at WrestleMania 40.
I don't think it's going to happen, Dave. I think Roman's going to beat Hogan's title record, 1,400 plus days. He might even beat Bruno's, man. We might be in for a real rude awakening over the next 5 years.
Well, I mean, and when you never defend the championship, I guess that's what happens. But no, seriously, Roman has been the captain of this ship. Wrestling is really big right now. We're going through like another era of like a golden era in pro wrestling. And if you think about the guy is Roman Reigns. So all kudos to Roman.
But would you call him the best wrestler in the world?
Overall, star power, everything, I think you got to give the nod to Roman.
For me, best wrestler pound for pound right now, I'd give it to WI, Seth Rollins. He's just on the point delivering matches. But as you can see, we have. It doesn't stop. We can talk about wrestling all day.
And really quick, when it comes to the PWI 500, it was tough this year, right?
Yes.
Because you had Roman, you have Seth, you have Cody, you have MJF. Like, it was really difficult to come up with the number one. So this year, this last calendar year has been awesome.
To me, I put Roman at 9 because there's guys just putting in more work than him, significant more work, more matches, more match time.
But nobody has a more big match feel right now than Roman.
No, not at all. And his best match of the year is probably with Logan Paul, though. Nothing's even crazier.
You can make that case, but I go with Cody at WrestleMania 39.
That's actually,
and that's probably at the end of the year going to be my match of the year.
I'm going with Bryan Danielson versus MJF.
Again, I can't argue.
We can't argue. We can't fight. But I'll be calling Busted Open soon. Get ready. Listen to Busted Open. Follow David LaGreca every day. He's the man. Real deal.
You got it, brother.
All right, Dave LaGreca, nice enough to do an interview with me. Like I said, if you want to see the full one, you can go on the YouTube page. But what a hell of a time at Legends Fan Fest. And Dave's right. Roman does have that big match feel. He really does. Every time there's a match, it doesn't matter who it's against, just because he's there, because of his rare appearances, because of his rare matches. It's like watching a unicorn perform. So he does have that, and I can see why he's so high on the PWI. And to touch on the PWI, as total what Tom and Dave were talking about, I totally agree with the number one, which is Seth freaking Rollins, best wrestler in the world today, pound for pound. But speaking of wrestling, let's get back to the breaking news. Randy Orton was seen working out at the Performance Center. He should be back sooner than later, I believe. I heard Knox was pulled off her match. She was scheduled to take on Becky Lynch, and then Lynch ended up facing Natty on Raw. I think they're saving her for something else. I don't think there's too much to read into this. I don't think she did anything wrong. I just don't think they wanted her to lose to Becky Lynch. I think they want her to have a fresh start and start winning instead of start off with a loss. Vince McMahon said in the company meeting that the company had plateaued and that he had made the deal so that the company could get to the next level. McMahon completed the deal, in my opinion, in order so that he could return to the WWE. And of course, all the alarms are being ding, 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 and everybody's trying to throw up red flags. And McMahon is a genius, and everybody should respect him. He made the right move because this is going to put WWE on another level. The company went from $9 billion now altogether. TKO $23.6 billion. They were at 21. Now they're at 23. Unbelievable. Nick Khan, Vince McMahon, and Dana White will make TKO the next thing, the biggest thing in the world. And I agree with that statement. They really will. The power together, the possibilities of storylines between UFC characters, and not even characters, UFC fighters and WWE entertainers. Possibilities are unlimited, man, to make money. And again, as I said earlier, and I'll say many times on this show, this business, Savage is in this business for one reason, and that's to make money. And UFC, WWE together as TKO, that's what they're about to do. They're going to make a lot of money. You can bet on that. Vince McMahon's a genius, man. He, like Jericho, knows how to reinvent himself, from commentator to interview guy to owner to chairman to CEO to backstage, everything. Back to Illville. Now, what is he now? An evil billionaire tycoon again? He'll be back. He will be back on TV. I do not doubt it at all. Kurt Angle went on to say all kinds of things, saying that WWE and UFC previously had contracts where talent couldn't cross over, and the only exception that was made was for Brock Lesnar, who competed at UFC 200. Well, Kurt, yeah, that was the case back then, but I guarantee you that will not be the case now. We will see many crossovers. In other news, Karrion Kross receives a third-degree purple belt, making him even more of a badass, even more of a threat. He's out there. He's learning how to fight even better, which is only going to translate in the ring. So watch out for Karrion Kross. He gets that third-degree black belt one day. My God, be on the lookout. This week's episode of WWE's Raw drew 1,331,000 viewers on the USA Network. I'm not a huge ratings guy, but I figured I'd once in a while throw it in there so we all know kind of where we're at. I believe NXT is in the 800 to 900,000 range. I think AEW is actually doing worse than them. And SmackDown doing the usual 2 to 4 million. I mean, on average, they always get around there. It goes up and down. I think The Rock had 4 million. By the end of the night, they were probably at 3. It was mentioned during the show that Rhea Ripley had suffered injured ribs and she was not medically cleared to compete. Quick recovery to Rhea Ripley. In my opinion, the best female wrestler in the world today. We want to see her back defending that championship and looking better than ever. Gunther on making Chad Gable's daughter cry. He said it felt great. What a perfect thing for a bad guy to say. How can you argue with Gunther? I mean, from his point of view, he doesn't care if this girl's crying right now. He doesn't care if this girl's crying. She can cry till the cows come home. He's a bad guy. Of course it felt good. You beat up with somebody and then his daughter's crying about it. If you're a bad guy, you're going to love that. You're going to love it. Eric Bischoff went on to say that LA Knight will be a massive star and Cody Rhodes is the future of the WWE. And I agree with Eazy-E. How can you not agree with Eric Bischoff? It's a smart thing to say. LA Knight not only will be a massive star, in my opinion, he is a massive star right now. It's just a matter of time before all the merch shows the truth. The reality is fans out there love them some LA Knight. He's going to be huge. But I think it's going to be a while before he's somebody that like could beat Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns, like I told David LaGreca, if you watch the full interview, I told him, I don't think Roman Reigns is losing that title for another 5 years. I think Roman Reigns is going to keep that title. As much as I love Cody Rhodes, I don't see Cody being that guy to beat Roman right now, or maybe even ever. Can he beat Seth Rollins? Can he be a world champion? Absolutely. By the way, Cody Rhodes' robe sold for $46,700 at a charity auction, which is insane. But my point being is I did a survey, and next week when I go out, I'm going to film this survey. I did a survey asking a bunch of young people between the age of 20 and 30 years old, do you know who Roman Reigns is? And I swear to God, this is not a lie. 9 out of 10 people said no. They did not know who he is. They all knew who Stone Cold Hulk Hogan was, The Rock, about that. They didn't know who Andre the Giant was, probably too old. But they didn't know who Roman Reigns is. What I'm telling all of you is until that statistic changes, until that number of random people who don't know Roman Reigns do know who Roman Reigns is by more things that are going to happen, like, for example, him beating The Rock, him starring in 5 or 6 Hollywood movies, and just him being the champion for another 4 or 5 years. Until that answer changes dramatically where everyone is saying, yes, I know Roman Reigns. Until the average person, until he's a household name, until humanity knows Roman Reigns as well as The Rock, as Stone Cold, as Hogan, until that happens, Roman Reigns will be your undisputed WWE Universal World Champion, or whatever they're calling it today. Okay? They should just call him the Super Champ. Jim Cornette says Cody Rhodes eyed a WWE return long before AEW started. Well, guess what, Jim? No shit, Sherlock. The guy's a chess player. He ain't playing checkers. He's like you. He's 12 steps ahead of the game, baby. But I'm glad you had to point that out for the members of the Cornette Nation. By the way, Jim, I have challenged you and invited you to come on to Wrestling with Savage or The Party with Marty. So I hope to talk to you soon. WWE working on a high priority main roster creative plans for Jade Cargill. At least this is what the rumor mills are saying. I try not to listen to the rumor mills because the truth of the matter is this. I would love to see Jade Cargill in WWE. Great possibilities there. She could be a huge star. I'd put her in NXT first. They could put her in the main roster and delay it with segments, and I'd put her in NXT. But we don't know where she's going. We don't know. She could be re-signing with AEW. Tony Khan invested so much in this woman, making her a monster, making her a beast, undefeated, whatever her record was, 61-0. I don't think you do all that and then just let her go. I think she's negotiating right now between WWE, between AEW, maybe even New Japan. You never know. So I think Jade Cargill right now is playing her cards correctly. She's in the perfect spot to make the most money. And again, a reminder, this business is about making money. And that's what Jade Cargill is going to do. That's what she wants to do. The question is, who is going to pay her that money? Will it be AEW? Will it be WWE? It won't be Impact. I'll tell you that much. My God. But Jade Cargill is great. I love Jade Cargill. And you should too. She's a star. Whether she's in WWE or AEW, she is a star. She has the star quality. Is she a little green in the ring? Sure, you can argue that. But guess what? She had just started wrestling, man. Give this girl 2 years, 3 years of like nonstop reps, programs with reputable wrestlers around the world. Jade Cargill could be putting on matches better than Rhea Ripley. And that's not even like being nice. That's just being honest. Chris Jericho thinks AEW is a better company now than it was a month ago. And I'm assuming this has to do a lot with the next guy on this slide, which is Tony Khan firing CM Punk. He says Jade Cargill, by the way, is always welcome in AEW. But of course he would say that because that's his girl. That's his star. He made her. Tony Khan still refusing to answer questions about CM Punk. CM Punk is not looking to sue Tony Khan following the AEW departure. Now, I'm sure everybody wants to know what I think about the whole thing. CM Punk getting fired. Tony Khan firing. Is it better for AEW? You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think because it's over. It's over with. It's over with. It's over with. AEW and CM Punk are over. It is not a work. It is not a piece of fiction. The fact that he got fired means that the majority of the things we've been hearing over the last year are all true, and a lot of us have to eat some crap and deal with it. But it is what it is. You know, Tony Khan came out. He said, "I fear for my life." I couldn't believe this, man. I couldn't believe this. But for me, it's over. It's over. It's done. It's old news to me. It's nothing to worth wasting more than 2 minutes on tops. CM Punk will probably end up in WWE at some point, but I guarantee you, even when he does come back, if he comes back, if they pay him to come back, they're not going to treat him like Cody Rhodes. They're certainly not going to treat him like Roman Reigns or John Cena or Edge or any of the other guys who have been there the whole time, never took their ball, and theoretically went home. Whatever. I don't care anymore about the gripes. We're all grown men. Everybody needs to grow up, make a decision about what you want to do, who you want to be, and just deal with the repercussions of your actions. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Okay? I'm going to keep it moving. Matt Hardy. Apparently, Matt Hardy has never crapped himself in the ring, but he did fart. Why we need to know this, I don't know, but it's here. I got to fire my producer. Chris Statlander thanks MJF for the AEW gig, and she should, because coming from Long Island, MJF Statlander destroyed everything at Creative Pro. They busted their butts, they killed it in the ring, and now look at them. One's got the World Championship of AEW, the other one's got the TBS Championship, both holding gold, both looking good, both representing Long Island with pride. Two of the brightest stars in AEW. So yeah, thank you, MJF, for making sure Statlander got that push, got that rub. Now listen to this, guys. This is nuts to me. I found out, I couldn't believe it, but apparently it's real. Darby Allin is going to begin climbing Mount Everest in April of next year. Now, what makes this crazy is this is Earth's highest mountain above sea level, located in the Mahalangur Himal sub-region, whatever, of the Himalayas, the China-Nepal border that runs across its summit point. Its elevation at its peak is over 29,000 feet. And I checked it. Over 322 people have died since records have been taken. I believe that was in the 50s it started. The first ascent that's on record is 1954. Obviously, maybe some maniac might have climbed that thing in the 1500s. Maybe, I don't know. But there ain't no record of it. So good luck to Darby Allin. I hope he does not get killed climbing that thing. But I'll say this, if anybody can pull off that climb from the things I've seen Darby Allin do in the ring, his accuracy from jumping off the things, landing exactly where he needs to, I think he's fully capable. And if you've seen him skateboard, obviously he has great balance, he has great strength, and he's determined. He wants to do this as a person, as a man. It's on his list of things to do. So good luck to Darby Allin. I hope you accomplish it. Collision on Saturday. We'll get right into it because I don't really watch Collision too much. I don't support a Saturday night show because you're killing me. You're killing me. You're killing me. Saturday nights should be about family. It should be about me. And now it's just, you're just ramming wrestling down my throat. You're better off putting Collision on Wednesday nights or Tuesday nights and go up against NXT. Do it like that. Or put it on Monday night and go against Monday Night Raw. But you putting it on Saturday is a selfish move. It's a selfish move. That's how I look at it. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about having a professional wrestling show on Saturday other than a pay-per-view that's called WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, or SummerSlam. Am I wrong? Saturday nights should be about anything else except professional wrestling, because we get enough of it during the week. It could be a great show, Steven, but I want to enjoy my show live, because even if I do DVR it, by the time I watch it, and I'll put his little comment up here, by the time I watch it, people have ruined it for me on either social media, over the phone, because, you know, someone's got to call Savage and complain about something. I will say this. I did watch Collision this week on the DVR. Hobbs versus Miro can be a solid tale. I hope they take their time with this. This is two of the biggest and brightest stars in AEW. Physically and athletically, they're gifted. Two gifted big men. Give me a battle of giants over the next couple of months. I want to see these guys literally kill themselves on TV because they're fully capable. Who comes out on top, though? It's hard for me to pick. I got to go with Miro because he's my boy. But I can't even argue if it's Hobbs. Hobbs deserves it just as much. He's put in the work. The Book of Hobbs, the vignettes, it's all good. I would even go as far to say that his vignettes are better than Miro's. Nothing against Miro's and God's and his take and all that. I have a connection with the Hobbs promos. They hit me. Either way, this is going to be a great storyline. I can't wait to see it unfold. Andrade El Idolo went on to defeat Scorpio Sky in Collision. Statlander beats Britt Baker, which is like crazy to me. John Silver defeated Anthony Bowens with, of course, some help from Evil Uno. So that's a big win for John Silver. For me, this is like a moment of the night type of thing. That's a big deal for a guy like John Silver to go on and to defeat Anthony Bowens, who's had so much success in the Acclaimed, man. Wow. I mean, really. Aussie Open, they came out, they challenged FTR, basically. They want the gold. They want it all, and we're going to get it at Wrestle Dream. FTR versus Aussie Dream. Oh, I call them Aussie Dream. Aussie Open. And this could be potentially, in my opinion, this might be the tag team match of the year. So put this one on your calendars. I will be tuning in to watch this one. I love FTR. They barely ever make any mistakes. They barely ever put on anything other than an insane, excellent, fully executed match. And Aussie Open, they are so good that I can't even put it to words. It's hard for me to describe and define Aussie Open to people who've never watched them. If you haven't, you need to go on YouTube and just check out some of their matches. They're so good. Could Aussie Open be the team to beat FTR? It wouldn't upset me at all. Yeah, I heard Jay White's going to have beef with Andrade. That should be a hell of a match. RVD for Collision, you're right. I'm going to be talking about Ricky here in a moment, but you're right. In a shocking upset, new tag team here in AEW, just making a statement, squashing the Hardy Boys, the Righteous, and then going on to have a huge, moment, talking and telling everybody that they're basically here and this is they're going to run the show now, man. They basically killed the Hardys. My God. But yeah, Collision has a big week next week. But tonight, AEW Grand Slam. 5 minutes from my house at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Tonight was the first Grand Slam that I did not attend live. I just couldn't do it. I had a long week. When you party with Marty the way I do, sometimes you just got to take a break, okay? Yeah, got to take a break sometimes. Claudio goes on to lose to Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston holding up 2 titles by the end of the night. He's now the new Ring of Honor World Champion. Unbelievable title for title. And Eddie Kingston has a great moment in Arthur Ashe. Claudio shaking his hand. They did put up a very physical match. Good match. Not the match of the night, but a good, solid match. Eddie Kingston having his moment right here in Queens, New York. This was a great start to the show because it's in New York, because it's in Queens, and because it means so damn much to a guy like Eddie Kingston to win that Ring of Honor World Championship live on TV. Now we have the Kingdom there with Roderick Strong, who is dying in the hospital bed. Adam Cole is there trying to comfort him and help him. And Roderick Strong, I hope you recover, brother. I really do. Christian making it clear to Darby Allin that that's that's Luchasaurus' championship. But, he wants to fight Darby Allin in a triple threat match on Rampage. And Sting is barred from ringside in a handicap. No, it's not a handicap. It's a triple threat match. I'm sorry. He wants a triple threat match with Darby Allin, Luchasaurus, and himself, so he can defend Luchasaurus' championship. By the way, great work by Christian on the microphone tonight, truly showing everyone in the game how it is done. He is on his way to being the best heel manager in the business. He is killing it right now. Keep it up, Christian. Now let's get into my personal favorite match of the night. And I only say my personal favorite because it's nice to see the student versus the teacher. Not the match of the night, pretty close, but Sammy and Chris did put on the clinic. But in the end, Chris Jericho was just too much for Sammy. All that experience, he was able to catch Sammy into a cold breaker off the top rope. They hugged for a moment. They embraced. Everybody was happy. And then all of a sudden, and a lot of people were talking crap tonight saying, oh, we didn't get a surprise. We didn't get a turn. Yes, we did. We got a big surprise right here because Sammy turned on Jericho. Kicked him great, right in the nuts, dropped him where he stands, and then Don Callis, the instigator, the guy who probably is the best manager in the business right now, comes out. And this picture is the one I wanted to show because it really just showcases how dark and demonic and great that Don Callis is right now on peak. This is going to be life-changing for Sammy. It's awesome that Chris backed out. He didn't want to team up with Don Callis. There's so much story, so much substance there. The years and the friendship that Sammy and Chris have. And now Don Callis just interjecting himself right in the middle of this. And it's great. I cannot wait to see the future segments between Don Callis, Sammy, Chris Jericho, and then anybody else that Sammy takes. I feel like Don Callis has that roster right now between Takeshita, between Sammy. He's probably working on Garcia. We'll see who else he gets. If I was Callis, though, I would not put too many eggs in my basket. Just a few good ones, man. Because when you put too many eggs, they start cracking. Just a couple of good eggs and secure them in comfy little blankets, Don Callis, and take care of your talent, and you will be on your way to being the greatest manager of all time. Keep up the good work. MJF with a killer promo outside in his sexy car outside Arthur Ashe Stadium. And, of course, Adam Cole had to take that call from Roderick, killing the mood. But basically, MJF promised Samoa Joe that by the end of the night, he would pass out. He would get choked out. Bold words, by the way, from MJF to say to a guy like Samoa Joe before a match. But that's your world champion. He has big balls. Don Callis basically telling Sammy to kind of hold off because we had Garcia over here giving him dirty looks, maybe eyeing him up, maybe getting ready to attack. You don't know. But Don Callis says, no, leave him alone. He's money. To me, that's that Don Callis knows what he is. He wants him for himself. Jon Moxley would take on Rey Fenix in a great match, high-flying match. Rey Fenix goes on to become the new AEW International Champion, defeating Jon Moxley in a great matchup. You know, congratulations to Rey Fenix. He deserves it. He deserves singles stardom, singles success, and it's just a good thing to see. Very proud of Rey Fenix, and even prouder of Jon Moxley of putting over somebody at Grand Slam instead of burying them for once. And it's not even his fault. Jon Moxley's just so goddamn talented in the ring. According to Tony Khan, Jon Moxley's a monster, doesn't lose. And now Mox can finally, like Steven says here, can finally take a vacation like I've been saying for a while. He deserves it. He's been busting his ass for a long time, basically carrying AEW on his back and his head. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Great thing to see here, though. Very proud of Rey Fenix. We're going to see some great matches coming out of him soon that are all going to hopefully be highlighted on Dynamite. Samoa Joe cuts a promo right before his match with MJF, basically telling him, you know, you told the world that I picked on you at NXT, and you know, you're going to be complaining a lot longer because I am not losing to you tonight. Saraya taking on Toni Storm. Saraya would go on to retain her championship. This match was not bad. Tony Khan really talking up Toni Storm, saying that she's doing some of the best work in all of professional wrestling right now. Don't know if I agree with that, but she is doing good work, but not enough to take down Saraya, who is still your AEW Women's World Champion. And on Collision next week, like some of the people in the chat said, this is the match I'm most looking forward to. Texas Death Match between Ricky Starks, Bryan Danielson. Should be a hell of a match, should be physical, should be great to see. Not to mention you're going to get RVD next week. So I will definitely be DVRing Collision next week because next Saturday, I'll be in New Jersey. I'll be 90s Con. No way I'm watching this live, but if you got nothing better to do, Collision next Saturday is going to have some bangers, I assure you. Main event time, MJF versus Samoa Joe. Grand Slam. And this match lived up to the hype. It was great how the night started off. They did a whole like old school Bret Hart vignette. The MJF gave the kid his scarf, told him he was adopted, comes out, has the custom Mets logo. You know, it just perfect. City Field's like 5 minutes from Arthur Ashe. It's right next door. It's right there. Great gear by, you know, MJF. All in all, this was the match of the night. Okay, if you weren't happy with the first few matches, or if you missed the first few and then just caught this one, you made it just in time, because this match was everything that it was built up to be and more. It made MJF look like a god. It made Samoa Joe look like a god because he didn't really lose clean, but MJF did kick out of a muscle buster. I mean, he kicked out from a power driver on concrete, which he sold to high heavens. Just incredible job, incredible match. MJF did live up to his words. He choked out Samoa Joe. He did use a little rope thing over there from the turnbuckle, but nonetheless, he choked his ass out. Samoa Joe went to sleep, woke up. He ended up shaking hands with MJF, but this match had a crazy ending. Adam Cole came running down. He jumped off the ramp. It looked like he rolled his ankle, so prayers to Adam Cole. Hopefully it's nothing serious. The referee took a crazy spill from the second rope. It looked like he ripped his knee apart. We had two guys limping, and Samoa Joe, MJF shaking hands, making friends. Joe put the kid over. I mean, Joe put the kid over, and, you know, no reason not to. MJF has earned it. He's earned everything he has, including this moment right here, from getting a handshake from one of the toughest men in the world. I mean, that had to mean the world to MJF, because he went from getting shoved by this guy and now earning his respect, handshake, and defeating him in a world championship match, man. It was great to see. A great ending to a great night, and this is what would close out, of course, Dynamite tonight. MJF, Adam Cole, they have a good thing going right now. And so does Wrestling with Savage. I got a good thing going right now. I got my show, which will be coming to you live, hopefully, every single Wednesday night. And then Thursday nights, The Party with Marty. If you've been living under a rock, then you don't know. But over the last few months, I have gotten very close with Mr. Marty Jannetty. I went down to his house. I set up his studio, decorated his room. And that is Rockers gear from WrestleMania 6, man. I hooked his studio up. You know what I mean? I made it look as great as I could. Put an old VHS player in there. We have the old tapes playing. He's got his old figures. Dude. And then we started filming. We filmed episode 1. We filmed episode 2. We filmed episode 3. And today we filmed episode 4, which will be playing live tomorrow night at 10 p.m. on the Party with Marty channel. And this is going to be a great episode. Tales of the States. We're going to show you some more stuff from Legends Fan Fest. That's why I'm not going to show too much more stuff tonight, because you're going to have something to watch tomorrow, gentlemen. That's right. You can go to sleep, Willie P. It's time to go to sleep. That has been Wrestling with Savage. That's been your weekly review. Overall, the best show of the week has to be SmackDown, just because of The Rock showing up. That alone, stole the show. Match of the week has to go to MJF and Samoa Joe, and your superstar of the week is MJF. He killed it tonight in every single way possible, from the promo to the match, baby. Everybody, I will see you next week right here, live on Wrestling with Savage, and make sure you're watching tomorrow, The Party with Marty. Like I said, we got a lot of shit cooking up. His new figure's coming out. And this Sunday, you can catch me live at BPW, Premier Streaming Network. I will be doing interviews with all the stars. Bull James versus Encore. V Marino versus Danger Jameson. Oh, my God. It's a Futures 4-way match. RJ Carnage versus JJ Smith versus Terry Adonis versus Rico Gold. And look out for this kid, Terry Adonis, man. He is huge. He is a monster. I expect him to win that matchup. We have BPW Futures Championship Sam Adams taking on Code Red Good luck to both of them. Submission match between Dark STG versus Spencer Slade. That's going to be insane match right there. I hope Spencer can survive. I think he can, but Dark STG is something else. You got to see him live. Petrino Brothers taking on the Revolution with Mike Payton and Harlan Calix. Make sure you're watching on the Premier Streaming Network as we get into our BPW Tag Team Championship match. SPF versus Silk City Kings versus Championship Material versus Prime Time Heat. A fatal four-way tag team match for the championships with four of the hottest tag teams in the game right now. My God. And probably our main event. Championship Eliminator Qualifier. Malik Delvante versus Casey Navarro. And if you know anything about Casey Navarro, him and Malik have been friends forever. They are literally best friends that will be battling for a shot at BPW Gold. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you sign up to the Premier Streaming Network so you don't miss matches like this. Another Championship Eliminator Qualifier. Sean Maluda taking on Nolan Pierce. Ox Adams taking on Snitsky. And the Ox Adams is like 6'17". Snitsky's a monster. What is going to happen here? Will Snitsky destroy Ox Adams, or will Ox Adams put an end to Snitsky's career like he stated? Make sure you're watching it live on the Premier Streaming Network. You can sign up for as low as $9.99 a month. Do it today to watch all kinds of great shows. Also, Savage will be live at Outlaw Wrestling. You'll be able to see Alpha Jr. versus Jacob Batu, Homicide, and Bull James. This is going to be a hell of a matchup. We're going to have Ortiz from AEW taking on Crowbar, and I promise you that's going to steal the show. Savage will be in the house. If you want to meet Savage or any of the stars from Outlaw Wrestling, come on down. Coliseum Sports Attraction LLC presents Outlaw Wrestling, Thursday, September 28th at 7 p.m. The doors open, 8 p.m. The matches begin. The Brooklyn Monarch Outlaw Wrestling. Come on down now. And the next night, Friday, September 29th, ISPW Wrestling, featuring Sergeant Slaughter, Marty Jannetty, Richard Holiday, David LaGreca, the superstar Danny Morrison, Ray Calitri, Crowbar, Bull James, Alpha Jr. My God, Lance is going to be there. This is going to be a hell of a card, a hell of a night. Come party with Marty, hang out with Sergeant Slaughter, and then the very next day, 90s Con, 90s Wrestling Con. You can see Big Sexy, the Dudley Boys, the Nasty Boys. My God, I'm pretty sure Big Papa Pump's going to be there and so many more. And don't forget, Marty Jannetty, Rockaway Mall, Rockaway, New Jersey. Check out 90swrestling.com tonight to see all the lineup. Make sure you get your tickets because they will sell out. And if you miss your chance to meet Marty at any of those events I just mentioned, on Sunday, October 1st, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., he will be at the Wrestling Universe right here in Queens, New York. Coming soon to Wrestling with Savage, the interview I have promised all of you. And yes, I have promised this interview for a while, but it is coming. The Indie God Matt Cardona will be here live on Wrestling with Savage, and it will be one of the greatest interviews in history. It will be the interview. It will be the reason why Matt Cardona goes on to create the new Attitude Era and take over the WWE. It's going to happen here. Go follow my cousin Cri Text. Now, he's awesome. Great rapper. Go follow him. I have a store on ProWrestlingTees.com. Go look for it. Wrestling with Savage. Get your I'm a Savage Guy shirt. Get your Wrestling with Savage shirt. Head on over. Pick up a shirt today. Throw some support down and show everybody that you're a Savage. Or maybe you're a Wrestling Universe guy. Go over and check out the Wrestling Universe store on Pro Wrestling Tees. Maybe you want to tell Lewis happy birthday, and now you can every single day. This has been Wrestling with Savage, and I'm just going to keep getting better. Till next time, I'm out of here.
Yes, let me do it.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. SmackDown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.